The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Phyllis Summer's new obsession may have already been revealed. Now that Martin Laurent is locked up, that'll hopefully give Phyllis some peace of mind and an opportunity to concentrate on something else. Phyllis will still have to deal with the trauma of her kidnapping ordeal, but at least she won't have to worry about getting again. The fact that Martin is sitting in a jail cell should help Phyllis as she tries to find a way forward. Of course, throwing herself into a new project could be helpful as well. And we're not just talking about Phyllis' job at Abbott Communications. There's a specific task that Phyllis may work on now that she's freed up time and some space in her brain. I and our fans know Phyllis has already done some light research on Aristotle Dumas, but she came up with nothing. However, Phyllis may ultimately decide she didn't dig deep enough when it came to her investigation. If Phyllis wants to find out who Aristotle Dumas really is, then she needs to put her tech skills and sneaky side to good use. Perhaps Phyllis could do some hacking as part of her plan to find out Aristotle's true identity. Phyllis could also brainstorm ways to lure Aristotle out of hiding or even try to trick him into a meeting in Washington, D.C. Regardless, typing Aristotle Dumas' name online doesn't qualify as much of a search for answers. Phyllis has to do more, especially now that Alan Laurent, aka Martin, is behind bars. Since Phyllis doesn't have to obsess over captor confirmation or worry about the kidnapper targeting her again, this is her chance to develop a new fixation, namely Aristotle and her goal of figuring out who he truly is. If anyone can the case, it's Phyllis. Maybe Phyllis will make some predictions about setting a trap to expose Aristotle Dumas, or finding another way to reveal the man behind the pretentious-sounding name. The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest Phyllis may not rest until she gets updates on some big Aristotle news and figures out who's running this show. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates tease Michael Baldwin may be on the brink of a perilous turn of events. Could the conflict between Jack Abbott and Victor Newman take a disastrous turn? Lauren Fenmore Baldwin is understandably worried about the potential trouble that could befall Michael. It's evident that Victor's demands are causing Michael inner turmoil. While Michael is assisting Victor in his quest for vengeance against Jabot and the Abbotts, he secretly wishes Victor would let go of his resentment. Jack's intentions were noble when he turned to pills again for Nikki Newman's benefit. Ultimately, his actions proved effective, as they provided her with the crucial motivation to seek help in rehab. Unfortunately, Victor is struggling to move on from the peril Jack exposed Nikki to, which raises the alarming possibility that Michael could be next in line for danger. Lauren is increasingly worried that Michael might be on the brink of a downfall that he won't recover from this time. While her thoughts likely revolve around the potential damage to Michael's career, reputation, and friendships, the situation could escalate even further with Victor's involvement. Michael made a lighthearted comment about avoiding any more stints in Peruvian prisons, but what if a genuinely threatening turn of events is brewing? Lauren's apprehensions carry a heavy weight, suggesting that Michael could soon find himself in serious trouble. Michael has been expressing his concerns about the dubious spies infiltrating Jabot, questioning their integrity. What could happen if one of them steps out of line? Matheson, the executive, might warrant close attention, as he seems to be the one demanding extra cash to maintain his silence. Meanwhile, Jack and Kyle Abbott are strategizing to outmaneuver Victor by offering the spies higher pay to switch allegiances. This scenario could quickly escalate if Victor decides to take action against the betrayers, particularly if it provokes Matheson to snap. Could Matheson consider harming Victor if their deal falls apart? Is Michael putting himself at risk by trying to step in? This could lead Michael into danger, but he might also find himself caught up in other issues related to Victor. Fans of Y and R know how intense situations can become with the Newman family, especially after the conflict between Victor and Ian Ward. Back then, Michael put his life on the line to show his loyalty to Victor. Now, he might face similar risks if these troubling signs point to trouble. Lauren will keep making unsettling predictions about what lies ahead, and we'll keep you updated on any bad news that could affect Michael. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with Y and R right now. Come back here often for the Young and the Restless spoilers, news, and updates. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates tease Nikki Newman might be on the brink of a birthday party catastrophe. Could this Newman celebration take an unexpected twist? Fans of Y and R are well aware that whenever there's an extravagant event filled with guests, the chances of things spiraling out of control are high. Disasters at parties is a common soap theme, sometimes with a sense of humor involved. Longtime viewers might remember the wedding cake fight between Jill Abbott and Catherine Chancellor. We need to entertain the idea that Nikki's birthday celebration could spiral into chaos. Jai Rodriguez is taking on the role of a party planner named Pietro, but he's unlikely to foresee all the conflicts and unexpected twists that may arise. Even with Pietro's dedication to ensuring everything runs smoothly, there are certain to be a few hiccups. Victor Newman plans to pamper Nikki like royalty that night, yet the event has the potential to turn into a complete disaster. If Nikki is determined to invite Jack Abbott to her party, it could spark a major confrontation with Victor. Michael Baldwin might find himself caught in the crossfire. Meanwhile, Kyle Abbott could show up with Claire Newman as his date, but Victor's attempts to drive them apart might reach a dramatic peak. There would be no more fitting setting for Claire and Kyle's breakup than a birthday celebration where everyone is watching their relationship unravel. It would certainly add a dramatic twist if that's the moment Victor finally sees his desire for Kyle and Claire to part ways come to fruition. Nikki's birthday party might just attract an unexpected guest. Could this be the moment when Aristotle Dumas finally unveils his true self, leaving everyone in awe? Regardless of how the evening unfolds, it appears Nikki's celebration is destined for a wild twist, beginning as a delightful night and spiraling into surprising chaos, catching all the attendees off guard. While Victor may predict that Nikki will have an unforgettable time, things could take a turn for the worse once the festivities kick off. Pietro is set to start organizing the event on May 28, indicating that the excitement will unfold in June. Upcoming spoilers hint at more shocking revelations from the Newman family, so stay tuned for updates on all the thrilling developments and major confrontations on The Young and the Restless scoop for Friday. April 11 reveals Audra Charles will make a deal with the devil. Also coming up, Victoria Newman will once again defend her daughter's relationship to Victor Newman. Plus, Kyle Abbott will have a surprising question for Claire Grace, and Sally Spectra will try to talk Audra out of making a big mistake. My and our spoilers tease Audra will tell Sally she has a new career prospect. But if she takes the job, she'd be working with the last person she'd ever expect, Victor. I've been offered a deal with strings, a sort of bargain with the devil. Sally will ask why she'd ever work for Victor again. Audra will say she doesn't have a lot of options, so she'll tell her Victor offered her control a division in Newman Enterprises. Sally will ask what Victor wants in return. She'll say he wants her to lure Kyle away from Claire. Why would the answer to that be anything but hell no? Sally will ask. This offer comes with way too steep a price. Why would you even consider it? Audra will say she hasn't agreed to it, but it's tempting. At this point, no other doors have opened up for me. Sally will ask if she wants her opinion, and Audra will say yes. I don't like it, any of it. I think it's disgusting, Sally will tell her friend. But Audra will say Kyle is an entitled brat and Victor is right to distrust him. Sally will ask Audra how she'll protect herself. "I'll get something in writing," she'll reply. "He came to me, I hold the cards." However, Sally will say Kyle is one thing, but he's not the only one who's going to get hurt. "I'd be doing Claire a favor," Audra will reply. Then Sally will ask what she'll do when Nate Hastings finds out. But Audra will say Nate has nothing to do with it, and he doesn't need to find out. Meanwhile, Claire will meet Kyle at Crimson Lights. They'll once again have a riveting conversation about her latte. He'll say he misses her constantly, and she'll reply that they should take advantage of every free moment they have together. "Either that, or I should ask you to move in with me," Kyle will reply. A surprised Claire will say it sounds like he is. "If I did ask you, would you say yes?" he'll ask, but she'll say it kind of feels like it's too soon to be having that conversation. However, if they did, it would set Victor off. Speaking of Victor, he and Victoria will discuss Martin Laurent. Victoria will say first Jordan comes back to town, then Ian Ward. And this Martin guy was hiding in plain sight. When is this family ever going to catch a break? She'll ask. Victor will say they're Newmans. They survive anything. Bring it on. Victoria will bring up Claire's name, as usual, and Victor will say she shouldn't be leaning on Kyle. Regardless how you feel about the Abbotts, Kyle adores Claire, Victoria will reply. But Victor will say the Abbotts are a disaster. His relationship with Claire is not going to work out, I'm telling you, he'll add. Look what he did to Summer. I don't want Claire to suffer the same fate. But Victoria will say she thinks they have a future together. I'm not going to sit around and let you undermine her happiness, she'll add. However, Victor will tell her Kyle will show his true colors soon and break her heart. There will be a mention of Cole Howard and how his new position at Newman has him traveling a lot. Finally, Victoria will say she has a meeting and needs to head out. There will be a knock on the door. She'll answer it and see Audra standing there. Victoria will be surprised to see her, and Victor will say he's offered Audra a job at Newman. After Victoria leaves, Audra will tell Victor she's thought about his offer, and her answer is yes, but with some conditions. I don't want to run a division, I want you to fund my own company, and she wants it in writing. Victor will say they have a deal, as long as she opens his granddaughter's eyes to the man Kyle really is. Consider it done, Audra will reply, but is she going to regret this? The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Kyle Abbott may say 4 outraged words after Audra Charles' cheating trap stuns Claire Newman. Audra is gearing up for a plot that could pull Kyle closer and set the stage for a compromising position. Victor Newman is counting on Audra to show Claire a rotten side of Kyle and end their relationship for good. Audra has been adamant about not actually sleeping with Kyle, but she still thinks she can create the illusion of impropriety and ruin his romance. My and our spoilers suggest that's going to be a tricky task, especially since Audra doesn't want Nate Hastings to know what she's really up to. Nevertheless, Audra will continue to make predictions about pulling this off and keeping her own committed relationship intact. After locking in this deal with Victor and securing her new career path, Audra will be ready to make some bold moves and lure Kyle into the trap she's setting. Kyle obviously isn't a fan of Audra at the moment, but she feels like there's a thin line between love and hate. That could work to Audra's advantage once she gets the ball rolling on this fake cheating fiasco. Of course, no one can rule out the idea of Kyle and Audra cheating for real. It won't be surprising if the whole thing spirals out of control and ends with Kyle legitimately landing in Audra's bed. Whether this remains a setup or turns into a full-blown betrayal, Kyle will be livid when he realizes Audra is working for Victor. If Audra succeeds in blowing up Kyle and Claire's relationship, Kyle will inevitably unleash his wrath. With all that in mind, Kyle may say these 4 outraged words after Audra's dirty trick, "You'll pay for this." Perhaps Kyle will make it his mission to wreck Audra's romance with Nate in retaliation and destroy the new company Victor's giving her as well. Naturally, Kyle will also want revenge on Victor for his sabotage, so he may plan to make him pay right along with Audra. You can bet Kyle will scramble to explain this setup and hope to open Claire's eyes to what Victor is capable of. The young and the restless spoilers say Audra will make a mess on Victor's orders and try to launch some breakup news, so stay tuned for updates on how Kyle and Claire will be affected. The young and the restless news says that everyone wants to know what's going on with actress Eileen Davidson. Luckily, we've got some answers for you. Keep reading below for everything you need to know. Back in April of 2024, Eileen opened up about her character Ashley Abbott and some of the health issues that she's going through. In an interview with Soap Opera Digest, Eileen Davidson said that she first talked to executive producer and head writer Josh Griffith about the possibility of this storyline back in 2023 when Ashley and Tucker were having problems in their marriage. She said, "He remembered and got really inspired by that. It makes my head hurt because it's Ashley and then sometimes mid-scene, I'm becoming the alter, so I'm starting off as one and ending up as another." That said, a lot of fans think she's been giving the performance of her life. Some have even commented with, "Ashley's alter just put baby Ashley back to sleep, and the other Ashley is planning on killing Tucker and setting up Audra." Oh, how delicious this story is becoming, and I'm loving everything about it. Another fan chimed in with, "You go Eileen Davidson, we could smell another Emmy nod next year." In July of 2022, Eileen and her co-star Beth Maitland opened up about their on-screen sisterhood. Eileen told her co-star, "Beth, we had an incredibly long and deep conversation about life, and I remember every word of it. I'm kidding, I don't remember either." She continued, "Honestly, the only memory I have is you and me thrown together, and we had Jack's wedding. That was pretty soon after we had just started. There was tons of dialogue, and we wore those crazy giant bridesmaids hats." The Young and the Restless airs weekdays on the CBS network. Check your local listings for times. Tell us, what do you think of this story? Let us know in the comments section below. Also, watch this space for more The Young and the Restless juicy drama to come. Also, come back right here for all the latest news and spoilers on your favorite daytime television shows, including General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, The Young and the Restless, and The Bold and the Beautiful. Recent developments in The Young and the Restless have unearthed a web of deception centered around Martin Laurent, a character who initially appeared as a charismatic and powerful figure, only to be revealed as a manipulator orchestrating complex schemes. As the layers of his deceit unfold, key characters such as Tracy Abbott, Chance Chancellor, and Jack Abbott find themselves at the heart of a deeply personal and emotional reckoning. Martin's rise in Genoa City's social elite was swift, his allure winning over influential figures, including Tracy Abbott. However, his polished exterior concealed a series of manipulations, including orchestrated kidnappings and fabricated relationships. His relationship with Tracy, once seemingly sincere, was part of a calculated scheme, leaving Tracy emotionally devastated when the truth surfaced. Detective Chance Chancellor, suspecting deeper involvement beyond Martin, initiated a thorough investigation. What he uncovered pointed to a larger conspiracy involving unexpected players, Tucker McCall and Diane Jenkins, whose connections to Martin were more integral than previously assumed. The arrest and subsequent psychological breakdown of Martin forced him to confess, exposing an intricate network of crimes. Tracy's emotional crisis marks one of the most intense arcs in recent episodes. Deceived by someone she trusted, Tracy faces a profound emotional trauma. Her recovery is not just about healing from a relationship gone wrong, but from nearly losing her life. Ashley and Jack Abbott have stepped in as her anchors, offering critical emotional support as she navigates feelings of betrayal and self-doubt. Doctors warn that Tracy's recovery will take considerable time, underscoring the lasting impact of Martin's deception. But amid the emotional wreckage, her family's unwavering presence reaffirms the central message of resilience and unity. Her path forward is one of small, meaningful steps supported by those who care for her most. Martin's testimony sends shockwaves through Genoa City, especially as Jack Abbott learns of Diane Jenkins' entanglement in the conspiracy. Once a trusted ally, Diane's actions force Jack into a pivotal decision. Should he remain loyal to someone with a checkered past, or protect the integrity of his family and company, Abbott? This dilemma not only tests Jack's moral compass, but may also redefine his personal and professional future. His choice carries significant implications for the Abbott legacy and the dynamics within the broader community. Phyllis Summers and Sharon Newman, often seen as rivals, played unsung yet pivotal roles in exposing Martin. Their suspicions and decisive actions contributed to Tracy's rescue and Martin's eventual downfall. Phyllis' sharp intuition and Sharon's emotional insight enabled them to see through Martin's facade before others did. Their intervention, though initially overlooked, underscores their importance as protectors in a volatile environment. Their determination to confront Martin, despite the risks, ultimately shattered his constructed reality and forced him to face the truth. As Martin is confronted with his actions, his psychological unraveling becomes evident. His inability to accept criticism or admit fault reveals the depth of his delusion. Despite overwhelming evidence, Martin clings to his self-image as a savior, further alienating those he once manipulated. In a final act driven by pride and despair, Martin chooses to end his life, bringing a definitive close to his storyline. While his demise offers closure to some, it leaves emotional scars across Genoa City, particularly for Tracy. Tracy's journey now shifts toward healing and self-rediscovery. Her experience serves as a sobering lesson in trust and the resilience required to overcome personal trauma. The Abbott family's unwavering support is central to her recovery, offering stability amid emotional chaos. While the prospect of future love remains uncertain, Tracy's path is now defined by strength and introspection. Her evolution from a victim of deceit to a figure of resilience illustrates the emotional depth and narrative strength of The Young and the Restless. As The Young and the Restless continues to explore themes of betrayal, justice, and redemption, viewers are reminded that even in the face of devastating truths, characters like Tracy can find hope and purpose. With Martin Laurent's arc concluded, attention now turns to the choices others must make, and whether those decisions will lead to healing or further turmoil. In a world defined by secrets and shifting alliances, only one certainty remains: Genoa City will never be the same again. Victor Newman had always believed that in the game of power, every move had a purpose, even the personal ones. Now, orchestrating a new scheme within his empire, his goal was clear: use Audra to destroy the budding romance between Kyle and Claire. To outsiders, it might seem cruel, but Victor's motivations ran deep. He saw Kyle and Claire's love not as innocent, but as a threat to the balance of power he'd worked to create. Unbeknownst to most, Audra was not just a trusted ally. She was Victor's daughter, the result of a long-ago forbidden affair. Audra had been raised unaware of her true parentage, sheltered by her mother, while Victor pieced the truth together through a secret DNA test. Rather than soften him, the revelation hardened Victor's resolve. He saw Audra as his legacy, intelligent, strategic, and emotionally aware, making her the perfect tool to sabotage Kyle and Claire's union. Victor's manipulation was subtle. He aimed to make Audra believe dismantling the relationship was her own idea, using her instincts and loyalty to do the job without exposing his hand. Audra, still unaware of her true heritage, moved through the world with grace and secrecy, shaped by her mother's sorrow and the silence of her unknown father. During a private meeting, Victor finally told her the truth: she was his daughter. He described his past love, the regrets, and how she now carried the legacies of both parents. He urged her to use her gifts to protect the family. But behind the confession was manipulation. Victor hoped to use Audra to break Kyle and Claire apart before anyone discovered his involvement. Meanwhile, Kyle and Claire continued their romance, oblivious to the storm looming. Victor planted doubt in Kyle's mind, increased Audra's presence at crucial moments, and waited for the romance to under pressure. Yet even Victor felt the weight of his actions. Audra wasn't just a pawn, she was a reminder of love lost, and in manipulating her, he risked destroying her future. As tension mounted, whispers grew around Newman Enterprises and Abbott circles, rumors of a secret daughter and a past full of secrets. Nikki, already shaken by the reveal of Adam's paternity, was on edge. Victor knew if Audra's identity came out, Nikki might leave him. Victor, torn between protecting Audra and preserving his empire, plotted a slow integration of Audra into the family. He hoped to reveal the truth in controlled steps, but Nikki's threat of divorce loomed large. In a quiet meeting, Victor told Audra the truth: she was his daughter. Her response was conflicted, part longing for belonging, part dread at becoming another Newman pawn. Audra had spent her life dreaming of a simpler fate, not one entangled in deceit. And Nikki, sensing more betrayal on the warned that she would not endure another lie from Victor. Victor knew timing was everything. He delayed full disclosure, hoping Audra would prove herself first and gain the family's acceptance before the truth exploded. Audra, caught between past and future, had to choose: embrace the Newman name or forge her own identity. Victor, meanwhile, walked a fine line between love and control, risking everything to shape the next chapter. As secrets closed in, the coming days promised explosions of truth, pain, and power struggles. Every Newman stood on the brink of change, one revelation away from collapse or rebirth. In a gripping development within The Young and the Restless, the character Tracy Abbott is drawn into a psychological and emotional unraveling of the man she believed she loved, Alan Loran. As new information surfaces, the foundations of her relationship begin to crumble under the weight of suspicion, deception, and the looming possibility that her fiancé may not be who he claims to be. The storyline gains complexity as Tracy encounters Sharon Newman at Crimson Lights. What begins as a chance meeting quickly evolves into a turning point. Sharon quietly reveals critical details tied to a past double kidnapping incident, information that causes Tracy to reassess her past with Alan, the retired psychologist she was set to marry. Sharon's account, coupled with past remarks from Jack Abbott, Nick Newman, and others, suggest a chilling alternative. Martin Loran, Alan's twin brother, may have impersonated Alan and faked his death in Paris. Chance Chancellor's ongoing investigation serves as the central mechanism for validating these suspicions. His task of retrieving fingerprints from Paris is more than procedural. It represents the possible unmasking of a long-standing deception. If Martin has indeed assumed Alan's identity, it implies an elaborate scheme that may have included holding Alan captive, possibly as part of a sinister psychological experiment. As Tracy begins connecting the disparate clues, including inconsistencies in behavior and timeline anomalies, her emotional state shifts from confusion to quiet determination. She revisits past interactions, reanalyzes family conversations, and seeks insight from allies like Sharon, Phyllis, and her siblings. Each new revelation intensifies the conflict between the love she once believed in and the painful truth that may lie beneath Martin's manipulation. Despite the betrayal, Tracy holds onto the fragile hope that Alan may still be alive, albeit changed and wounded by his ordeal. Her belief in the possibility of rescuing him becomes the emotional anchor of the story. In private, emotionally charged conversations, she voices this hope. even as the implications threatened to upend everything she thought she knew. The narrative constructs a layered mystery rooted in identity theft, emotional trauma, and the redemptive potential of truth. As the investigation progresses and long-hidden secrets come to light, the storyline pivots toward a central question: can love survive when built on a foundation of lies, or can it be reborn through truth and reconciliation? In this evolving chapter of Genoa City's ongoing saga, Tracy's resolve stands as a testament to resilience. Her journey not only seeks answers about the man behind the mask, but also reflects a broader quest for autonomy, clarity, and emotional justice. As the truth edges closer, viewers are left to anticipate whether the real Elan will be found, and if so, whether their shared history can be rewritten into a future forged from healing and honesty. In the latest developments on the young and the restless, explosive revelations threaten to permanently alter the Abbott family dynamic. Long-standing trust in Diane Jenkins is shattered when Kyle Abbott uncovers a series of disturbing truths about his mother. Truths that not only upend his personal world, but also implicate Diane in a far-reaching web of manipulation and conspiracy. Kyle, once unwavering in his admiration for Diane, stumbles upon her clandestine affair with Martin Laurent, a man notorious for his criminal background and strategic deceit. As Kyle connects the dots, he realizes that Diane's involvement with Martin goes beyond romance. It's the linchpin in a broader, calculated scheme. Consumed by betrayal, Kyle confronts his father, Jack Abbott, sharing every suspicious detail he has observed about Diane's recent behavior, from covert meetings to encrypted communications. Jack, a seasoned observer and head of Abbott, doesn't take Kyle's accusations lightly. With growing concern, he launches a private investigation, enlisting detectives to shadow Diane and gather hard evidence. The findings are photographic proof, and behavioral patterns confirm Diane's active role in Martin's covert operations, forcing Jack to reconsider her place in both the family and the company. The confrontation between Jack and Diane marks a turning point. Under Jack's relentless interrogation, Diane's facade begins to crumble. Once poised and confident, she struggles to maintain composure as Jack exposes the layers of deceit she has spun. The evidence, coupled with Martin Laurent's testimony, presents a compelling case that Diane was complicit in criminal activity. Her influence at Abbott and her status within the Abbott household now hang by a thread. As Diane faces mounting pressure, she is forced to reckon with a harsh reality. The narrative no longer favors her, and her usual strategies of denial and deflection fail under the weight of hard facts. Whether she accepts responsibility or devises another escape plan remains uncertain, but the legal consequences appear inevitable. Parallel to Diane's downfall, Martin Laurent's identity unravels in a stunning twist. Once believed to be Alan Abbott, Martin is unmasked by Ashley Abbott and law enforcement as a complete fraud. His true identity, a manipulative figure with a criminal record, throws the entire Abbott family into disarray. His strategic deceptions and proximity to the family now pose a severe reputational threat. Detective Chance Chancellor intensifies the pressure, pursuing Martin's connections to criminal networks. Despite his Martin finds himself increasingly cornered. However, his history suggests he won't surrender easily. The tension escalates as the possibility of Martin's escape, arrest, or even a final self-destructive act looms large. The dramatic climax of this storyline raises urgent questions. Can Jack forgive Diane, or must he sever ties to protect his family and business? Will Martin be brought to justice, or will he evade capture once again? As these parallel plots converge, The Young and the Restless enters a pivotal chapter, one defined by betrayal, confrontation, and the looming specter of justice. In Genoa City, secrets never stay buried for long. And for Diane Jenkins and Martin Laurent, the past is no longer a shadow, it's a reckoning. Billy Flynn arrives in Genoa City as the secret son of Martin Abbott, setting off a chain reaction that rocks the city's power players. His arrival pits him against Victor Newman and tests the Abbott family's legacy. With a killer mix of ambition, charm, and a tragic past, Billy not only disrupts the business world, but also the hearts of Genoa's most prominent women. Meanwhile, an emotional father-son clash unfolds as Martin tries to bond with the son he never knew, with Sally Spectra emerging as an unexpected bridge between past wounds and future collaborations. As Victor plots from the shadows and loyalties are tested, Billy Flynn's debut promises a new era of intrigue, romance, and betrayal. Even before he steps onto Genoa City's tarmac, Billy Flynn is the name on everyone's lips. With striking blue eyes and a tailored suit, he makes a grand entrance, immediately turning heads and stirring gossip across town. The question on everyone's mind, who is he and what does he want? Billy is revealed as the long-lost son of Martin Abbott, born from a secret European romance Martin never spoke of. Fueled by abandonment and curiosity, Billy sets out to meet the father he never knew, and perhaps claim the life he believes was stolen from him. Billy comes with intent, not just to be acknowledged, but to stake a claim both emotionally and professionally. With a prestigious finance degree and a reputation for aggressive negotiation, he's aiming for a seat on the Abbott board. But he quickly finds Genoa's loyalty is skin-deep and enemies, like Victor Newman, are already circling. Billy's arrival triggers concern among Martin's enemies. Victor Newman tops the list, followed by Jack Abbott and an unnamed corporate saboteur. Whispers of stolen secrets and factory sabotage only fuel Billy's vow to protect, and possibly avenge, his father. Billy doesn't just bring ambition, he brings chemistry. And it's already causing emotional aftershocks across Genoa. Sally Spectra, her dormant passion is reawakened as Billy challenges her to rediscover her spark. Phyllis Summers, ever the seductress, she sees Billy as a challenge and potential conquest. Sharon Newman, torn between stability and thrill, Sharon risks everything for stolen moments with Billy. Victoria Newman and Claire Grace, even these steely women can't ignore Billy's sincere charm. Summer Newman finds herself intrigued by Billy's outsider status and unaffected perspective. Once a schemer, Sally has transformed into a woman seeking peace and purpose after the tragic loss of her baby. Her relationship with Billy Abbott once promised safety, but now feels lifeless. Billy Flynn's arrival forces her to confront unresolved grief and her longing for a life filled with passion again. Billy's sudden appearance is both a relief and a threat to Martin Abbott. To help bridge the gap, Martin enlists Dr. Evelyn Hartman, an old friend and strategist, to guide him through reconnecting with his son. She designs emotional bonding activities and therapy-like retreats to nurture their connection before resentment festers. Billy wants bold innovation, social media, startups, and viral campaigns. Martin clings to tradition, slow growth, and caution. Their tension comes to a head in a heated boardroom argument, foreshadowing a deeper divide or potential alliance. Sally suggests a collaboration combining Abbott skincare and Spectra fashion to fund health initiatives. The idea resonates with both Martin and Billy. Their first creative session shows promise as they begin to act like a family, if only for a moment. Victor, always watching, sends Chloe Mitchell to sabotage the Spectra Abbott project. He plays each person, flattering Sally, tempting Billy, and warning Martin, trying to unravel their unity from within. Viewers recognize Billy Flynn from his time on Days of Our Lives, making his crossover to Y and R a major soap event. His blend of emotional depth and on-screen charisma is already winning over fans and shaking up storylines. General Hospital has cast the young and the restless Alum Daniel will portray Professor Henry Dalton in the ABC soap. TV Line reported that G.H. Picked, who portrayed Kane Ashby on Y and R, to come to Port Charles as the brand new character. "First and foremost, it's an absolute pleasure to be back in daytime," he said. Last appeared on Y&R as Kane in 2019. He revealed that he had come to terms with no longer acting. However, that all changed late last year when Michael Bruno, his previous manager, asked him to submit for the upcoming role. Melissa Ordway would love to play this Y&R villain. Melissa Ordway is famous for playing Abby on The Young and the Restless. The actress has done a phenomenal job as the Newman Harris. But what would it be like if she had the opportunity to play another Genoa City character? When Ordway joined Y&R 12 years ago, she had big shoes to fill taking over the role of Abby. As a member of the Abbott and Newman families, Abby is a central character and often involved in numerous storylines. Ordway quickly made the role her own and wowed fans with her award-nominated performances. It's hard to imagine Ordway playing anyone other than Abby, but what if she could play another Y&R role? That's one of the questions a fan asked during a recent Q&A session on the star's Instagram stories. Her answer was quite surprising. "Phyllis would be so fun to play, but no one can do it as good as Therial Stafford," Ordway wrote while sharing a photo of co-star Michelle Stafford. "It would be fun to see Ordway as Phyllis. Although her character Abby is a good girl, she does have a history of mischievous behavior. Some of Abby's most memorable moments was her feud with Phyllis." Michelle Stafford and Amelie Heinel took on the viral Actin' Up dance craze, which had Y&R fans in stitches. Once again, chaos has taken place on the streets of Genoa City, but that's hardly the case backstage on The Young and the Restless. Antics ensued on set when it came to Michelle Stafford and Amelia Heinel. See what these ladies were up to. Stafford and Heinel are both incredible actresses, there's no question about that, but they're not the best dancers. Please don't ask them to take on a choreographed TikTok dance anytime soon. Stafford admitted that in her latest Instagram reel, but the two co-stars finally found a dance they could take on. The clip started with a group of kids dancing at a party. They danced along to Tommy Richmond's song Actin' Up, which has created a viral dance challenge. The clip flashed to Heinel and Stafford doing a backstage at the soap. Heinel hopped around in a white and black polka dress and heeled stilettos, while Stafford wore jeans and a sweatshirt. They both got down to the music. Finally, a dance a Milliam Heinel and I can do. Hashtag the band is back together. Hashtag embarrassing Georgia and Natalia. Hashtag YR. Stafford wrote in the caption. Fans immediately scrambled to the comment section. Most got a good laugh from this video. "You're hilarious, both of you," one user noted. "Love you too," another user agreed. "I love y'all. Y'all are hysterical," noted a third user. Sure, Heinel and Stafford aren't the best dancers, but they sure were stepping to the beat. Some fans noticed that they caught the dancing bug that's gone viral on social media. Some people can't stop dancing to this beat, and we can see why. One user wrote, "You guys caught the bug too." Other fans were impressed by Heinel's dancing skills. "She didn't let her heels get her down." Another user wrote, "Danny Amelia, rocking the heels while dancing. Impressive." One Y&R fan had a special request for Heinel. He mentioned he would like to see her do the safety dance by Men Without Hats. The user noted, "Amelia loves the song Safety Dance. Get her to dance that." What are your thoughts on Heinel and Stafford's dancing skills? Let us know in the comment section.